Welcome everyone. This is Virginia Parsons, and yes, I am your Hangout mentor and the host of the Inspirational Business Women Show. I'm looking forward to bringing you a goldmine of entrepreneurial tips, strategies, and advice to help you grow your business from some exceptional and inspirational business women in the know. And I'd love to have all of you who are joining us today. I want to say thank you so much for taking the time. I want to make this 30 minutes powerful and actionable for you. So let's start with an action step. Okay, let's write in the comment section down below, and let's give us where you're from, where you're hanging out from, and of course your name. We'd love to have that. You know, today's show is being sponsored by hangout-marketing.com. And with hangout-marketing.com, you can receive a free Hangout Marketing Assessment where you can have your skills and knowledge measured in using Hangouts on air to grow and market your business so that you can reach new heights of visibility, social influence, and success. So if you'd like to take advantage of that free assessment, it's very easy to do. All you have to do is text the word SUCCESS, SUCCESS, to the number 307-269-2040. And that way you'll be able to take that assessment and get some feedback on your knowledge and skill sets in Hangout Marketing, and perhaps even be able to qualify for a free strategy session with me. So I'm so excited today to be able to share some powerful information with you that you can apply in your own business. And we have a wonderful lady here who is going to share her skills and her knowledge with us. She is Barbara Wainwright. She is the CEO and the founder of Wainwright Global. And I'm very excited for you to learn about how she grew her business. Well, she's on her second major business right now, and you're going to be inspired, I know, to see how she took her passion, turned it into purpose, and most importantly, moved it into profit, big-time profits. So with her experience, she's going to share some hot tips and strategies with you today. So I want you to make sure you stick around for them, because my intention is for you to pick up those strategies, at least one good tip or strategy today that you can go out and apply immediately to grow your business to new profits and success. So she's going to share with us the power of systems, how you use systems to move your business forward quickly and effectively. She's also going to talk to us about mindfulness and even share a simple mindful technique that you can apply in your business today. Finally, we're going to do a little work with confidence builders so that you make sure that you stand in your power in your business and you take the actions necessary. And if you get sort of bumped off and sidetracked, you get back on the horse and you go riding again with a sense of confidence. So I'm thrilled to have Barbara with us. And by the way, before we get started, I'm sure anyone that's joining us today has a passion and a purpose, and we'd love to hear about that. So type that in the comments section as well. And you know, the other thing is, Barbara would be happy to answer questions that you have. We'll try to get to those today. If we don't get to them live on the show, we will respond to them. So make sure you put any questions you have for Barbara or myself in the comment area below. All right, so let's get started with the show, and I'd love to introduce to you Barbara Wainwright. Go ahead, Barbara, and say hi to everybody.
Hello, and thank you for joining us today. It's really a pleasure to be here, and I hope that you're going to get something that you can take away and use for your business today, and also something that you can use for your life going forward.
Wonderful. All right, so let's find out a little bit about your background, Barbara. You know, you have a 22-year background, as I understand, from JF Positive Systems. And that is a software development company. Is that correct?
Right. Well, you know, that is where I made the bulk of my income to support my family while I was a single parent. I raised 4 kids on my own, and 2 from my first husband, 2 from my second, and that requires a lot of income. So I worked in the software development industry, which was very rewarding financially. It was also rewarding in that I was really good at it, so I got a lot of accolades for my skill in the software development industry. But it wasn't where my passion was. It wasn't what I was born to do. And so, having the technical background and knowing computers inside and out, upside down and backwards, I'm not an expert in hardware, but I know hardware. I am an expert in software. So it's, having that background, I really pretty much set to go do anything I wanted to do because I could put the infrastructure in place. So I'm really systems oriented because that was my background for over 20 years of building systems to automate and assure quality, and if it was a customer service system, to make sure that people were getting follow-ups and being taken care of in the right manner. So systems had a lot to do with, well, that's the name of the company, JF Positive Systems, was because that's what we were doing, was we were developing systems that could really help automate and make things easier, provide upper level management reporting so that they'd know where their company was going, provide, for the end user, the people, that client service reps or people that were managing the accounts, we were providing them ease of technology so that they could easily do things. So there was a lot of development. I worked in a lot of different companies, a lot of different areas, from the loan industry to the medical billing industry to the cellular billing, even back when there was pagers. I worked on those billing systems, and so there was a lot of systems design and development and different applications that I worked on, which were very, very interesting. But it gave me the blessing of all that was that it gave me a really solid background to then go into business for myself, because I just kind of learned and seen the infrastructure and how everything worked. It made it really easy for me to be able to go into my own business, if you will. So
fabulous. Yeah. Well, first I'm going to pause because as a single parent of my own, I don't know how many of the rest of you out there are single parents and growing a business, but, hats off to you. Seriously, that's a major undertaking, raising 4 kids on your own and starting, what turned out to be a lucrative software development company. Bravo.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm sure that you had some challenges there. How about sharing a couple of those challenges so that all we other entrepreneurs out there, understand that it wasn't always smooth going for you?
Oh gosh, no. I think the hardest thing in the world, really, and I wouldn't wish this on anybody, is raising kids on your own. It's just not the natural order of things. The natural order is to have a team, a husband and a wife, or a mom and a dad, or an authority, kind of somebody that the kids will take and listen to their authority, and then a mom who's the nurturing. It just makes sense. And when you're there doing it on your own, it gets very difficult. And for a lot of the time when I was raising my 2 older children, I had my parents there really chipping in and helping out. And with my second 2, my parents passed away, so they're doing kind of really stuck on my own and doing the best that I can. And definitely it was challenging. One of the things that I'll say that I did do is I wouldn't travel out of state, or I wouldn't even travel overnight until my daughter, my youngest, was old enough to drive a car, because my priority was my family and not my business. And when I was consulting, it was a Monday through Friday kind of consulting thing, where I would be actually in the last, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 years of my consulting, I was working from home because we could dial in through a virtual private network to connect to work. So with being at home, it made it a lot better because I could take my daughter to school and pick her up and that kind of thing in between my working. I'd say the hardest thing, though, is being away. And I just refused to be away from my kids until my daughter, who was my youngest, could drive and get herself to her own events. She was a cross-country runner and they practice every day. So it's like I didn't want to interrupt her schedule or take anything away from her. But man, the day she turned 16, we were down at the DMV. and she was getting her driver's license. And once that happened, I was able to travel, and I scheduled myself across the United States for teaching coaches because I could, and I could leave with knowing that she was going to be able to make it to all her events, and that was important to me. So that was a challenge, getting, balancing between being a single mom and being also the provider of the family. Yeah.
Well, fortunately, you were able to do so much of that from home, and as you say, be able to run them to different events. I've got a comment here from Dr. Randy Ross. Hi, Dr. Randy. Great to see you here. She says, "Single moms rock." And I would agree. Yes. But also, all of those of you who are fortunate enough to have that traditional household with a mom and a dad, or two partners, you all rock. So it's just one of the hardest jobs in the world, isn't it, to be a parent?
Yeah, honestly, it is. And when they go through their teens and they're trying to figure out who they are, and they're experimenting and exploring, and that's when it's really hard for a parent to keep their sanity. Would you agree?
Oh, yes. And I'm sure we all have questioned it many a time. All right, well, let's get into some really hot ideas and tips and strategies for our viewers. First of all, you talk about the importance of systems, and obviously being a software developer, you understand the value of systems. But
Absolutely.
For those of us in the entrepreneurial field, why do we need a system, number one? And what kind of systems do you recommend? And do those systems, this is a three-part question,
okay.
Do those systems vary from one type of business to another, or one niche to another?
Okay, great questions. And the first question was, why are systems important? Systems are very important to get you automated. All right, if you're doing everything manually, then it's going to take you 3 to 4 times as longer than if you just, like, I'll give you just a really simple example. If you don't have an automated email system, it means that you're replying to every email that you get on your own, and that's time taken away from you, and you could be doing something that's much more profitable for you. So systems are going to be in place of where you could actually be spending your time profit generating, revenue generating, as opposed to doing something that's a manual task that would be time consuming and really not worth your time. So as a business person, you want to do everything that you can, remembering that, especially if you're a solopreneur. If you're a solopreneur and you're on your own doing this, then you want to be very careful how you allocate your time. And you don't want to allocate your time to busy work if you can automate it. So one of the things that I highly recommend, and I think is probably the most important system that you can have as an entrepreneur, is your mailing list system. You need, I currently have 2, and I highly recommend Aweber as a great email system. I know there's a lot more out there. There's iContact, there's Contact something, and then I don't know, there's a ton out there. Recommend Aweber, or anyone that you get, as long as it's automated and you can have your people come to your list. And when you build your web page, you want to have on your home page, you want to have the opportunity for people to opt into your list, and you want to have a free giveaway. And I'd say the most important thing for entrepreneurs in business today is their list, because that's how you grow and expand your contacts and your connections. Now, besides the mailing list, also important are, and I've seen it, I don't use Twitter, but I know Twitter's big. When you get a big Twitter list, people are, I'll say the publicity interest, the publicity media is interested in that. They want you to have a big list. They want you to have a big following, and so Facebook becomes important, Twitter becomes important, and even LinkedIn becomes important. So those are your social media platforms, and I would highly recommend getting a Google Plus platform as well, a Google Plus page. And you can build all the extraneous lists, but you want to put your email list opt-in on everything so that you're building your list. That is the most valuable piece of information that you'll have, is email addresses or phone numbers of all the people that are in your community. And once you've got that, you've got a powerful way to connect with them and let them know what's going on with you and develop a relationship and rapport with them. So once you've received the email off the automated system, once you've received the email, then you want to send them some information about you. You'll want to continue developing the relationship, so you want to send them valuable content in the form of tips, just like we're doing here. And you want to keep engaged with them. And then when you have a product to offer, you have a huge database of people to send your product offering to. So I'd say that that's the most important tool. Having your own website is not as important as having that mailing list, believe it or not, because you can develop a page on Google+, you can develop a page on Facebook, you can develop a page on LinkedIn, and you can drive traffic to those different websites. There's already traffic there, so that's a beauty of that. But as long as you've got your opt-in box on all those places, you don't really need to have your own website even. So it's a beautiful thing this day and age to be able to get away with that. There was a day when you had to have a website, absolutely. And now I know some successful individuals that still don't have a website, but boy, can you opt into their list in a lot of different places.
Fabulous. So there's one tip you can take, Mo. If you're spending a lot of energy trying to perfect a website, maybe that's not your best place to spend your time. Also, by the way, Barbara, you can automate your Twitter postings via either your Google Plus postings or your Facebook postings. So there's another automation system.
Wow, that's really great news. I wasn't aware of Google Plus being able to post to Twitter, but that's fabulous.
Yeah. Okay, so let's pause for a moment and talk a little bit about Wainwright Global and how this came to be. You said it was because of your success in your software development company, and you said you wanted to take that new passion and how you became successful with that and help other people become successful in their businesses. So a little background on that, and then we're going to do an exercise. All of you hang in there, because Barbara's going to do a couple of exercises for us, one on mindfulness that we can all do today quickly, and another one on confidence building. So hold on, we're going to get to that in just a moment.
Absolutely. Well, oh my gosh, I've sidetracked. So what was it that you want to talk about? Wainwright Global? Okay.
Yeah.
This is how I got into Wainwright Global was I was looking on my computer one day and it came up about coaching, and it just, the light bulbs went off for me. I went, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to make a difference in the world. I knew I wanted to make a difference in the world, and I knew that I was through the software systems and development that I was doing, but it wasn't the kind of change that I wanted to make in the world. And so when I stumbled on it, truly that's how it happened, I stumbled on a website that talked about coaching, and I just knew it was for me. And so they were looking for somebody in the Southern California area, and I went, that's me. And I called them and ended up flying up to Canada and getting trained as a coach, and I just fell in love with it, and I realized that coaching was a phenomenal area to be in. It was such a powerful catalyst for change that I wanted to share it with everybody. So that's when I started training coaches, and that was the birth of Wainwright Global, to train people to do what I was doing, which was really watching people step into their power, into their greatness, and really take charge of their lives and move in a direction that they were passionate and was fulfilling from the inside out. And when I, discovered that, that's it. I'm still passionate about it. I can probably tell. It might be shining through just a little bit, but I'm still very passionate about that. I love coaching. It's powerful, and it's just the best thing ever. It changes lives for the better, and it's permanent change. It's not, temporary. I just love it. I can't say enough about having a coach and being coached and the transformation that happens when you have one. It's phenomenal. So
thank you for sharing that, and I would agree. It doesn't even matter if you're a coach, because I've been coaching for over 25 years in the field of hypno-coaching and life coaching.
Nice.
And my passion has now moved into hangout marketing coaching, which I absolutely adore. It's a whole new field that's opened up, But I just think everyone needs a coach, even if you are a coach. You need that other influence driving you forward, lighting a fire underneath you and getting you to take steps that might be uncomfortable, but you take them anyway because you've got a coach there to keep you moving. So Bravo,
Yeah.
coaches.
Yeah, right? Right. We need more coaches. That's exactly the conclusion I came to, and that's why I started training coaches. So
Terrific. Well, let's talk about mindfulness. First of all, what is mindfulness? Why do we need to be mindful? And then let's have a short exercise we can all apply and take action on right here today.
Okay. Mindfulness to me means being conscious and aware of your surroundings, of your internal feelings, of what's happening around you, and also being at the same time being of the awareness, being able to stay conscious and attuned at the same time with all this stuff that's going on. So one of the things that you need to do to be able to be clear in your mindfulness is you need to be able to get centered and balanced very quickly. And to get centered and balanced, there's different ways and different tools and techniques, and I'm just going to share one with you, and that is some people find it great to find an anchor to help them, to remind them, to bring them back to center. Some people like to carry a crystal with them, and they put it in their pocket, or they just have it where it's easily accessible. They can put it in their hand, maybe if it's even on a necklace around your neck. But it's a crystal that will allow, or a rock, could even be a rock. It really could be a paper clip. It doesn't matter what it is. The point of it is that when you touch it or when you put it in the palm of your hand, it brings you back to center and focus, and that allows you to be aware and awake of what's going on around you. And when you're at your center, you're more easily able to deal with anything that might be going on around you that might be throwing you off of your balance or your center. So it's like, think of it as a rubber band. When a rubber band gets snapped, this is what happens when we get pulled out of our mindfulness, when we get pulled out of control. It's like this rubber band being stretched and really big, and then when you let go, it snaps back to center. So we want to have something that can bring us back to center as quickly as possible. So
I have a question for you.
Go ahead. Yes.
Is this what you would consider like a touchstone? This is one of my anchors. This is one of my crystals that really, when I take hold of it, take a couple of deep breaths. Just what you said, the rubber band comes back to center and brings me back into alignment and full awareness. So one idea, right? One quick
That's right. And it works. And it doesn't need to be that big, is right. That's a beautiful crystal, by the way. Just gorgeous. But yeah, so I would carry small crystals with me in the beginning before I was able to do it without having that reminder. There was a time, I feel very balanced and centered in my life right now all the time. I mean, I get excited about things, but I'm very centered and I'm very balanced. And the reason for that is because I've been practicing this balance and this practice of centering and staying mindful for a very long time. But I had a huge breakthrough with Eckhart Tolle's information on transforming the energy that's within us that came from, it could be from, when you were a kid, and you don't necessarily have to remember it, but somebody will do something that will trigger you, like it could be when you're sleeping and somebody's outside honking a horn. That might trigger some anxiety that come up, and you want to practice with the little things. You don't want to just wait until there's this huge thing that happens and then you're out of control and you can't get back to your center. You want to practice this on a daily basis with every little thing, and then when you're practicing it with every little thing, it will become very natural when there's something that's big that comes along. So could be a dog barking, could be a horn honking, could be somebody that gets in your face, or you could be driving on the road and somebody will maybe flip you off or something. It could be anything like that. Keeping your center and your balance and keeping your bliss around you with the little things will help you when it comes to big things. So thank you. Yes, I love that anchor that you have. That crystal is magnificent, and that is something that could really work too. If you had a smaller one, you could actually put in your pocket.
That's right.
And carry it with you.
And a touchstone doesn't have to be a crystal. A touchstone can be anything that just reminds you to re-center and come to a greater state of awareness. And that is a state of awareness that you are controlling rather than letting the environment and the triggers in the environment control you.
Absolutely, and that's the key to a peaceful life. Acceptance is the key to serenity, right? I mean, that's the truth. Acceptance is the key to serenity. Well, how do we get into acceptance? Well, we remain in our center and our balance, and that's how we can become accepting of whatever else happens around us. We know that we're on our path. We're maintaining our center and our balance. So, that tool worked. And another thing that you can do with that tool is if you're in a situation where it's there's chaos around you and you want to keep your center, besides having the crystal or the stone in your pocket to remind you to be mindful, you can also in your mind develop a mantra or a prayer to keep you centered and balanced. And I have one that I got from I can't remember, it's Dale Walker. His name is Dale Walker. He wrote a book called about crystals. I don't remember the name of the book right now, but he wrote a book about crystals, and his mantra was, I invoke the light of the Christ within. I'm a clear and perfect channel. Light is my guide. And that was something you could repeat over and over to yourself to bring you back to your center. It also, what it does is it kind of detaches you from what's going on out there, because now you've come into your mind, you've got your stone, you're getting yourself centered and balanced, and you're repeating your mantra to yourself, which is going to disconnect from any energy outside of you. So it really works.
Oh, that's very powerful. As a matter of fact, that's the most powerful kind of distraction. It's bringing you back to what aligns you. And
yes,
as you say, using the word light all by itself, it could be another, what I would call a code word that you could use. Just by thinking the word light and imagining that word light and all that it symbolizes for you, you're very quickly distracting yourself from what threw you off balance and bringing you back to your center. So,
yes, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful way to put it. Bring in the light.
Yeah. Okay, well, how about confidence builders? We've got a few minutes left to give them an exercise on building confidence, because, boy, that's for, and you know, I think of this even more for women than men. You know, we're constantly trying to please everybody and balance the needs of everybody, and that can throw us off track, and we can be off of center and lose our own sense of power. So how about some good confidence builders for our audience?
Okay. One way for you to build confidence is to do what I call getting into state. So when you know you have to, let's say you're going to go out on stage, or you're going to go to court and you got to face a judge, or you have some other situation that is going to really take all you've got to get through it, you want to get yourself into a really good state. And what you want to do before that, if we have a couple minutes left, I want to just really have you quickly close your eyes, take a deep breath, and breathe in and out. And when you close your eyes, I want you to get centered just like you would if you were in wherever you would be right before you're going to do your thing that's going to take all your energy, all right? So I want you to, in your mind's eye, this is how you're going to put yourself in state. You're going to remember the time in your life when you were unstoppable. It could be when you were a teenager and you were about to go, you know, run a touchdown. It could be when you were going out to do a ballerina thing. It could be anything, but there was a time in your life when you were unstoppable, when you were confident, when you had everything on board that you needed to have on board to be successful. I want you to remember that time right before you need it. So now, with your eyes closed, I want you to anchor this feeling that you have of being unstoppable and powerful, and you can do anything in this state. I want you to anchor that in your body somewhere you can hold your index finger and your thumb together. You can hold your wrist. You can tap the back of your hand. Just anchor that feeling in your body now, and when you are ready, go ahead and open your eyes and do what it is that you have to do with your full confidence and just, you know that you're unstoppable. So go ahead and open your eyes and just let that feeling be with you. A empowered woman, empowered man, let that feeling be with you and take you to the next stop, wherever it is that you got to go today.
Yes, and that's the word. That's my anchor word. Yes.
Yes, I love that. That's great. So you can anchor it in with a yes.
Yeah.
So you close your eyes, get yourself centered, remember that feeling of empowerment, and then yes, take it on. I love it. That's a great.
So I'm going to add to that a little tip that I want you all to think about and take home and take action on, and that is when you find yourself being distracted by things that make you feel less than good about yourself, less than powerful in your own body, immediately in your mind put a big X over it and redirect your thought to something from the past. Instead of us always going to the past where we say all the shit happened, go back to the past and find something that made you feel really good inside. And stay with that feeling. So you're redirecting back to feeling good inside yourself, and then build that energy up with a few deep breaths, and then go out there and do what you have to do with an absolute state of positive expectation. So that's just to add on for you there, Barb.
Right. That's great. Those two go together really well.
So I'm thrilled. Boy, did this half an hour go by fast. I want to thank our audience for being here. I want to thank Sheila. She's from Florida. Dr. Randy Ross. I think I missed it, Randy. You might be in the Midwest, as I recall. We've got Joan from Canada here, and quite a few others on the list. I just want to thank you all for coming. Agnesia, I know she's coming all the way from, I believe, South Africa. So all of you, thank you. Put any other questions you have for Barbara in the comments section, and we'll get back to them. I want to give Barbara just a moment to offer you something special just from her and her heart that you can also take home to help grow your business. So Barbara, what's your last word, and what would you like to share with your audience?
Thank you so much. Yes, I have a free ebook on my website, lifecoachtrainingonline.com, and if you scroll down, you'll see a place to click for the free ebook. And in there, it talks about 52 different coaching niches that are working miracles every day. If you are in a way that you want to help people and you want to change their lives for the better, become a coach. And I've got great training to help you get there. You can read about it in the free ebook on the website.
Terrific. Well, what I'm going to do now, we're going to stop the broadcast. I want to thank all of you for joining us, but I am going to post the link to come inside the Hangout. If you have a couple of quick questions for Barb, we're going to hang out in the green room for a few moments, and you can ask those questions to her. If you don't feel like coming into the green room, then that's okay too. Just ask the questions right on the comment section, and we'll be happy to take care of those questions for you there as well. Once again, I'm going to say that my final word and thought about all that Barbara has shared with us is empowered. I hope you take this information, take one item of this information, and take action on it, and feel the sense of empowerment about growing your business, taking it from passion to purpose to profits. And I look forward to seeing you next week on the show, where we're going to have a wonderful woman, Diane from New Zealand, who's going to share with us the first light and transformative work that she's doing in New Zealand. So I hope you'll be able to join us for that as well. Otherwise, join us in the green room if you'd like, and we'll see you next week on the Inspirational Business Women Show. Bye for now.